Okay. Okay. So now let's move on to my story, case study one, Kodama Koi Farm. And this is my farm in Hawaii. And I usually have 30 to 40,000. When I have the least, usually it's probably 25,000. So I should say 25,000 to 40,000 koi in stock. It's all imported. I don't breed them here. I go to Japan, buy koi and bring them over here. And Tosai are usually 25,000 to 30,000. Nisai, 6,000. Nisai means 2 years old. Sansai means 3 years old. I usually have 500. My farm is located in Hawaii. So that means I'm basically in summer all year round because of the tropical weather. So if you remember, we cannot feed the koi when the water temperature is low. Being in summer all year round means that I can feed all year round. And I started my business in California in 2001, but that was definitely one of the main reasons why I moved to Hawaii, because I can feed all year round. So this is a basic information about myself. And my goal is to raise koi that our customers can enjoy the most. I'm not a hobbyist. I'm a hobbyist, but I'm also in business. My goal is to raise koi that our customers can enjoy. So first of all, koi being healthy and beautiful, that's very, very important. And because we have so many different type of customers, we want to carry many different varieties. It's, if I'm a breeder, I might be just focusing on Kohaku, Sanke, show a very limited number of koi varieties. But as a dealer, I like to carry so many different varieties of koi. In koi, there are more than 100 different varieties. I don't have more than 100, but I try to carry as many as possible so that my customers have choices. And of course, those koi must come from the trusted breeders, in terms of the health, in terms of the bloodline. I want to make sure that, whatever we supply to our customers are coming from the genuine bloodline. And I am not focusing on koi shows or conditioning for the shows. We raise koi that's a show potential, but I believe it's customer's job, or to grow, finish, if it is for the koi shows, because that's the most exciting part of the hobby. Raising koi, working on the lusters, bringing up the colors. That's the joy of the hobby. So I don't want to take away the joy from the customers. I mean, of course, I could do that in Hawaii, and actually I do that for a few koi that I like, but when I think about my goal, that's not really a part of my goal. And size-wise, most of the koi that I get are Tosai, 1 year old. Of course, I buy some 2 years old, 3 years old, but majority is all Tosai. So my goal is by the time they get to 2 years old, I want them to be 16 to 20 inches. So we have to and then by the age of 3, I want them to be 22, 26 inches. So keeping those goals in mind, I have to kind of schedule my feeding, plan my feeding. Okay. So, and our food, feeding, what you eat is what you are. What to feed is very important to us. As a matter of fact, I'm going to renew, if you know something about my food, Kodama Koi Food, we will be renewing the packages from July 1st. But the food is still the same. This is a food that my father, Mamoru Kodama, has developed when he was in Japan. And the original recipe is the one that he used to raise his All Japan Grand Champions 5 times when he was in Japan. And then, of course, ever since we've been developing, improving the recipe. But his strong belief is this: healthy and beautiful koi is built with quality koi food. Koi food, if you don't feed good food, you cannot really raise your koi healthy and beautiful. So feeding good quality koi food is very important. And quality koi food is built with quality ingredients. So, you can have so many different type of recipes, but my first belief, and that's our belief now, is that you really have to use top quality ingredient that we can afford, because that's going to definitely affect the quality of the koi food, which is going to affect the quality of health quality and beautiful quality of your koi. Just like, people, if we eat healthy, if the food is, high quality ingredients and healthy, then we can stay healthy. That goes the same with koi. So, well, again, just a little bit of information. So we will be renewing the packages from July 1st, and when at that time I will do a little bit of promotions. So if you come, if your bag of koi food is coming to the end, please wait until July 1st. Okay. Anyway, let's go to the next. Okay, now let's talk about our feeding program. So like I said, we feed Mr. Kodama koi food all season and a color. And we actually mix them, blend them. I mean, for some pond, we feed only all season. For some pond, we feed only color food. But for most of the ponds, we blend. And for 2 years old, and so the blends really depends on the age, varieties, and our goals. So for 2 years old, like I said, we want to grow them to 16 to 18 inches, and by the age of 3, we want them to grow to 22 to 26 inches. So we need to feed, to get to this size, we need to feed constantly. This is why, again, we moved to Hawaii so that we can feed all year round. And up to 2 years old, we try not to mix varieties. For Gosanke, for example, for Kohaku, Showa from Dainichi, for example, we try to keep them in the same pond. For Kohaku, Sanke, Kohaku, Showa from Isa, we try to keep them in one pond. And it goes the same with the Shirotsuri. And for the other varieties, we will usually mix them, but we try not to mix them because they are different varieties. Their eating habit is different. The eating, so Kohaku, for Dainichi, Kohaku Sanke Showas from, what do you call that? Oh, why did I do that? They eat more, and when you have, say, Gosan Dainichi Kohaku or Dainichi Showa with other Hikarimono varieties, Dainichi Kohaku or Dainichi Showa, they eat most of the food, and it will not leave any food for the other varieties. So you kind of have to understand those eating habits too. So that's why up to 2 years old, we usually keep them separate. And we do feed sinking food. There are floating type and sinking type. For our farm, we feed sinking. And because from our test, from our experiment, we found out that koi sinking food will make the koi bigger, quicker, 20% plus. The conversion rate is much more efficient than the floating. Okay, I don't know why I see those two lines. Let me see if I can stop it, and then I'm gonna share this again. Okay. Okay, then we feed 6 to 12 times all year round. That depends on the ages. For Tosai, especially because that's when they have to grow the most, we feed 12 times. And for maybe 3 years old, we do feed 6 times. And of course, we cannot do hand feeding, so we have to use those automatic feeders that you can see on this picture. And the volume is also very, very important, how much to feed. Like I said, they cannot store the food that you have to, we have to feed as many times as possible, but how we're gonna decide how many pounds to feed. So for that purpose, we do have the chart. So you can see this is the water temperature on the left, and on the top, this is the sizes. So for example, if we have, say, over 40 centimeters, over 16 inches, and if the water temperature is, say, let's go, yeah, that's 59 degree, that means 0.9. So that means 0.9% of the koi weight. So that's how we can determine how much to feed. This is a day, but you also have to know the weight of your koi fish. And for that, we use this chart. So if the koi is 8 inches, I'm sorry, it's probably, let's go like, yeah, say 16 inches, for example, 40 centimeters, 16 inches, koi is usually about 1.9 pounds. So my brother is in charge. He is a farm manager. What he does is every time he harvests a pond, he check most of the he check the sizes of the most of the koi, and he get the average size, and he convert the size to the weight. And from the weight, he come back to this chart, and he will decide how many pounds to feed. Of course, when the koi are tosai, they keep growing. So we don't want to wait on, like for 6 months or a year. He literally harvests upon almost 1 month or every 2 months, so that he can check the size and weight, and he can make the adjustment on the volume of the food. Once he gets to like 2 years old, 3 years old, we don't have to do it. But our policy is every time we harvest, we check the size, we get the average size, and then we will determine how many pounds of koi food to feed a day. Well, if you are interested in this chart, I have a PDF, so I can share it with you. You can ask me later in the question. Okay, so this is actually how we feed at Kodama Koi Farm, and it may not apply for your case, but at least this is something we do at the farm.